Hello friends, followers and channel members, happy Friday. And if it's anything like me in the UK here, it's a long weekend, so hopefully lots of flying with days off on Monday, so that'd be quite nice. We are in Lyon and today we're off to Corsica, which has some of its challenges, but I'll talk about those en route. As you can see, we're not on live time. There is a reason for that. Again, I'll chat about that in the cruise. But we are on live weather, so we've got live weather, but we've just brightened it up a little bit. We are on VATSIM as well, and there's a host of traffic here, which is going to make it nice and interesting, even more interesting for the controller, which is which I believe is online as well. So that's quite neat. Looking forward to seeing how he handles us all at the gate and pushing back. So presumably, if you are headed to the same place as I, don't hang around for me. We really don't want to have any missed approaches or go-arounds coming into Corsica. It's not straightforward, so let's keep that separation problems to a absolute minimum, shall we? Looking en route, I think we've got a bit of air traffic control en route too, which is going to be nice. So, HD, good to see you. How's the head doing? Have you been popping the paracetamol? Right, everything's looking okay, with the exception of my aircraft. Now, whoever parked this last needs sacking, because, I mean, well, just bear with me. Look at this. What kind of parking job is that? There are 3 lines to choose, or 4 if you include those on the left, and I think he was drunk when he taxied that to the gate last night, so never mind. We'll do what we shall, and I imagine if the jetway comes over, I mean, where's this gonna go now? Straight dissecting the luggage guys. And I think we're going to be boarding from the right hand side again. We've seen this happen a couple of times. Normally, the only other time I've had that happen is at gates in the USA for some reason. Don't know why. Obviously, they don't do that in real life. So, apologies to the ground staff and potentially the air traffic controller when he asks me when I contact him, why on earth am I parked like that? I can't even tell you what gate we're at. We should be at gate Charlie 43, I think. But, yeah, never mind. Alright, so let's have a look at getting going then, shall we? So, good evening to everyone in the chat. Evening Martin, Lucas, Steve, PC King, J-Hog. Good to see you all. Raphael, Liam 10, we've got Nick, Lucas, Simon as well, of course. HD is with us. Chubby, good evening. And Pilot Pat. Good evening, thanks for coming along. Is that like Postman Pat, Pilot Pat? You don't have a cat called Jess, do you? Dark Fury, good evening as well. Good to have you here. Right then. So let's have a look, and we'll get moving. So as I said, we are on live weather. As you can see, it's looking really rather nice at the moment. Let me just couple of things I just need to get set up for this. There we go. We'll get some ground power on, and I believe the tug driver is now, well, the ground power unit is there. He's just been dissected by the jetway. Never mind. So we'll get that turned on. Cockpit voice test. And we'll get the ideas aligning as well. Well, let's start going ahead and let the letting the passengers on board as well in a moment. We'll check over here and make sure that the weather coming into Corsica isn't bad. It shouldn't be. I checked it a little bit earlier. It should be nice light winds. Runway 02 in use. HD was that, just so I know. There's no landing weight restriction tonight with a 10 knot tailwind on runway 02. Beautiful. Glad to hear that. So engine 1, engine 2, and APU. Simon, funnily enough, the weather here in the UK, or at least where I am in the UK, hasn't been that great. It's been warm, but we've had no sunshine. Right, get that in, pull this through, and then we'll check that flight plan. In fact, guys, that's something I haven't done, isn't it? Let me just get you guys a copy of the flight plan if you wish. So I'm just going to pop that into the chat here on YouTube. There we go. So that's all set for those of you that that do want a copy of that. So that should now be visible here on the flypad. So in fact, let's just double check. What have we got? So QNH then here is 1017, and I did say there is air traffic control here on the ground at Lyon. And which information we got? QNH 1017, and that's information Golf. Oh, that's interesting. What's happened there? Has someone just spawned in on top of me? Ah, yes. I see a double aircraft. So, if whoever that is could politely exit, that would be very, very nice. If not, I'll just have to come off VATSIM, because I can no longer see what I'm doing in the flight deck with that. Oh yeah. Oh, hello. Who are you? Get out of my flight deck, please, if you don't mind, and would be so kind. I don't even know if this is my overhead panel now. I'm presuming so. But yeah, I'll give them another minute or so to work out what they've done, and if not, we'll just come off of VATSIM, because quite clearly I cannot fly like this. There we go. Thank you. Right, so Information Golf is currently here on the ground at Lyon, and as we can see, winds currently 1802. So because I will talk a little bit more about this as we get going, but we will be landing with a tailwind into Corsica, runway 002. Ceiling and visibility is okay. That's greatly important. So happy with that. Let's have a look at the fuel and see how or what we're going to do about that. So operational flight plan is giving us 5 tons of fuel. Now, given the amount of traffic that I've actually got around us, and if we need to hold or anything daft like that, plus the potential of go-arounds and things at the other end, I'm going to take an extra ton with me. So let's go with 6 tons of fuel. There we go. We'll get that loaded. HD from VATSIM, someone may take off in front of us using runway 20 when you want to land on 02. Yes. Well, hopefully. We'll see what happens. I don't know if there's any air traffic control there. One of the good things is that TCAS works, doesn't it? So that will that could come in quite handy now. Okay, so refueling is underway. How about the passengers? Should we start to let them on board?
Cabin crew, we're all happy with how things are up here, so you can now open the doors and start letting our passengers on board. Thank you.
No problem.
Okay, so passengers are boarding, although interestingly enough none of the doors are open, so how they're getting on, don't know. Maybe they've been transported on. Simon, has Corsica approach just come online? Oh, we'll see if they're still there when we arrive. Good luck to them if that is the case. Pedestal. Let's turn that off. Let's turn that on. Everything else is where it should be. One of my thrust levers is just having a bit of a moment. Oh, it's the spoiler lever. Let's try and get that sorted, shall we? There we go. Okay, good. So let's come down and see what frequencies we're going to need. We are going to be contacting the ground 12185. We'll contact them shortly for our departure clearance. So, comment to the glare shield 1017. Turn that brightness up. Flight directors 1 and 2. Instrument panel. And then upper ECAM, lower ECAM. First officer's displays off as per usual. And let's have a look then at setting up the FMGS. So if we come down here, get that information through from SimBrief. Let me just clear the scratch pad out. There we go. 56 minutes the flight, if there aren't any hold-ups. Let's just go and check out our weights and balance. So 171 passengers and that payload of 17784 and zero fuel weight of 58.8. Let's just alter that weight there, 30.1, 30.1, and load. Okay, so that's the weights input into the aircraft in the simulator. So, data page, check we've got LEAP engines, valid AIRAC cycle, init and init request. The alternate tonight is Rome, I believe, LIRF. We pass straight over Nice as well, I think, this evening. And the call sign 869 Papa. Another real world flight for you guys tonight. Cost index of 8 and flight level 350. Temperature is only 1 degree off. Happy to leave that. Tropo 41662 is the real one. Again, happy to leave that because that's very close. And the OFP was filed 2 or 3 hours ago, so that's okay. On to the flight plan then. So, runway 35 left in use for departure, and it's going to be the Romam 2 November departure. There we go. And insert. And then we're at the other end, we're expecting runway 02 and it is the ILS Zulu and Varek 1 Sierra. HD, I think, and it is via Horo. I think the others that are in there. In fact, HD, that is a really good point. They the way that SimBrief imports it in is SimBrief just gives, you've got the choice of 4 alternates. For some reason, SimBrief gives you the first one, and you obviously can go in and alter the preferred ones. But here in the Merc-Do, would you ever choose to plan for any of the other alternates right off the bat? And again, this is just because of the way SimBrief does things. So what other alternates did we actually have tonight? Bear with me. Yeah, so Rome's obviously just picked as number 1, but we've also got So we've also got Nice, Porretta, and Costas. I can't even pronounce that one. Costas Melada. No idea where that is. I think it's Porretta, isn't it, that's on the other side of the island. So that one would be my first chance of being number one. So, yeah, would you ever choose any of the others that you've got on the operational flight plan just to pop in there as you're actually setting things up? Anyway, I'll leave that one to you and your paracetamol. Distance of 432 miles. Flight plan has got the exact same 342 miles. 342, and they both match up. So that's nice. Let's have a look at the RadNav page then. And all we need in here, just for situational awareness, is the LSE, VOR, St. Zubri VOR. There we go, that's the one. And then onto the init B page, a zero fuel weight of, in fact if I do this, we'll just round that up, there we go, 58.8, 32.1 is correct. Trip wind, tailwind of 11. And then fuel planning, we're taking 6 tons, aircraft suggests 4.3. Let's just see and check that's been loaded. So we've actually got 5.9. Let's pop that in. That's your next project then, HD. Takeoff weight of 64.5. And let's just check our gross weight at the moment. Now that fuel's been loaded and we put the passenger weights in. There we go. We're at 646. So all that looks good, and the alternate is suggesting 1.6 tons of fuel to get to Rome. We'll leave that in. 47 minutes travelling time, and we've now got an extra 39 minutes of flying time, which with potential holds and things, that sounds okay. So onto the performance then. Transition altitude here is 5,000 feet, and it's a noise abatement 2 departure here at Lyon. Aerodrome elevation is 821, so 1821, and they weren't that far off, to be fair, were they? So that's okay. And my phone has just buzzed, and wonderfully reliable. It was the performance calculations from the dispatch team, who is solely not responsible for the choice of alternate tonight. So it's going to be config 1, flex of 68, and then the V speed. So real world 153. One thing I haven't checked. HD, is this using the full length? It's not any intersections, is it? That's probably the biggest difference I've seen in those. There's quite a bit there. So 153, 153, 152, 153, 153, and 152. For the Alpha 8 intersection departure. We'll let ATC know that we can do that. So then, let's brief the taxi and departure. So we are parked badly at parking stand Charlie 43, just in front of Terminal 1. So we're going to push back, presumably facing south, unless it takes via Tango Delta, but if not, with Tango Lima, onto taxiway Tango, and then down to Alpha 8, rather than going all the way down to Alpha 9. So as I say, we'll let ATC know that we can take Alpha 8 for our departure run. The line up here, take off runway 35 left, and we've planned the Romam to November, so straight out at 4.2 miles from the Santa Exubri VOR, make the right hand turn, which brings us back on itself to Romam. Lucas, what have I got? A zero fuel weight central gravity disagreement. Are you sure? I can double check that. So, in it B, 32.1. Ah, that is wrong, isn't it? It should be 30.1. In fact, it's probably not. That is probably right. So this is one of the things you can't actually set in Flight Simulator at the moment. So this is the zero fuel weight centre of gravity. So that's all your passengers and everything loaded except the fuel. So even the pilots, cabin crew, etc. What this figure up here is, that is the empty CFG position. So that's the aircraft's CFG with nothing in it. So that's essentially why. Although, having said that, that's the zero fuel weight centre of gravity. That's the centre of gravity, which they're both showing to be very, very close, aren't they? So I would have expected one of these to say zero fuel weight centre of gravity, and it doesn't. So, not quite sure, to be honest. You can't set the zero fuel weight centre of gravity here on the weights. You can set the empty aircraft centre of gravity. You can then check the centre of gravity with everything in it, so your fuel and your passengers and everything, which is now showing to be 32.1 rounded up. But you can't actually set the zero fuel weight centre of gravity, which is a bit of a pain. So there we go. It's one or the other. I don't know if HD can offer any rules of enlightenment on that, but to me that just seems a little like there's just something missing there in the sim. You would expect the empty CG to almost be right, but so HD says zero fuel weight would be a bit further forward due to the extra fuel, bringing the centre of gravity rear a little bit. So we can close that down, and essentially when you do this anyway, when you actually select that and you get those calculations there, that is correct, because I'm not typing those in. That's coming directly from the aircraft, so we can take that. We can take that. So I think we're just about finished doing how we're going to fly the actual departure then. A couple of things that we also need to be aware of. Obviously the weather, and as I've already seen, actually the weather here in Lyon is looking rather beautiful. Really nice long runway as well. If we had an emergency, then the runway we're departing on is is it close to 4,000 meters, something like that. So if we did have a problem, we can easily come back and land on runway 35 left, even though 35 right is currently used for landing. We're below the maximum landing weight, so that's fine. Problems with the aircraft, the only things to note are, of course, that on RMP, RNAV approaches, we can't use final approach mode, so that's okay. No NOTAMs that are applicable to us here in the simulator, and if we have a problem with our departure, say an engine out as we as we take off after V1, of course. Then at 2,300 feet we make a right hand turn to the RIP2 holding point with an inbound radial of 204. Hopefully that won't be a problem, and of course not happen, but we do need to brief it so we know what we're doing. Threats to be aware of: the minimum safe altitude here in Lyon is 4,000 feet as we depart, and just to bring that back up, you can see we've got terrain over to the right hand side of the airfield. So there's our minimum safe altitude. That's the highest of the minimum safe altitudes. So 3,200 as we depart. We've also got a little bit of terrain just there onto the left hand side, 5,000 feet, but hopefully we shouldn't be intersecting that. Just through the 3,200 and 4,000 feet. And then we are away. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to check the coding and make sure all this looks correct. So after departure we have the USR point. The user point is fine because that's when we hit 4.2 miles, so we decide then that we're going to make that right hand turn. Then we come down to Whiskey Sierra, which is the first waypoint on the route of the standard instrument departure, and then to Roman, the end of the instrument departure, and then we're on our way. Let's see what that looks like then on the map. Check that looks to be coded correctly, and let me just bring that in a little bit. And that looks good. We'll just set that to nav. We're expecting initial climb clearance flight level 70, but ATC will confirm that for us in a moment. So that all looks fine. Then let's have a look at the arrival at the other end. Make sure there's nothing daft going on there. And that looks spot on. But I'll talk about that once we're in the cruise. Okay, let's pop that back to ARC mode, and I think are all the passengers now safely on board? I believe they are. That jetway can disappear. At least it hasn't dissected the aircraft like it did the other day.
Hi Gavin, all the passengers are on board and we're ready to go. I'll bring you a cup of tea after we've taken off.
She's a good one.
That's great, thank you.
Dan, no, we're not on Twitch this evening. Just on Facebook and YouTube this evening. So refueling is all completed. Let's start the APU, shall we? So fuel pumps can come on, and APU 1, 2, 3. There we go. Right, so whilst that starts up, let's contact air traffic control. Check they're still here. They may have signed off where they saw everyone arrive. 121825. Lyon ground, good evening, Alpine 869 Papa, type A320 Neo, stand Charlie 43, requesting higher IFR clearance to Corsica as filed, and we have information Golf.
Alpine 869 Papa, information hotel is current, startup to Corsica approved, Roman to November departure, runway 35 left, initial climb stage level 70, stroke 5611.
Cleared via runway 35 left departure, the Roman to November, initial clearance to flight level 70 and squawk 5611 for Alpine 869 Papa.
Alpine 869 Papa, correct, report value for option.
Wilco, Alpine 869 Papa.
And November 4-3 with QNH 1017, information hotel, request IFR clearance to Corsica is filed.
Easy 21 November, Saint-Exupéry, ground, good day, call you back.
And we've got flight level 70 as expected.
Lyon ground, Delta Foxtrot Uniform 001, requesting push and start.
Delta Fox Uniform 001, push and start approve, facing south, sorry.
Push back and start facing south. Delta Fox Uniform 001.
Easy 835, Lyon ground, good evening. Stand Bravo 91, requesting IFR clearance is filed to Corsica. We have information hotel.
Easy 8.
Okay, so just while we go through a few of those checks, let's just mute that. So, everything up here looks not okay. Why is that pump not turned on? There we go. And check those ears are all aligned. There we go. System is normal. Alright, before start checklist. Cockpit preparation is all complete. Signs are... Oops, seatbelt signs. On and auto. Ideas are aligned. 3 nav green. Fuel quantity is 5.9 tons, loaded and balanced. FMGS is set, and altimeter 1017.
Cabin crew, please van doors and cross-check.
So I believe the tower frequency is also online, which is 12045. Let's get that popped in on the standby, and then we'll start getting ready for our pushback.
Clear to Corsica is filed. Fly departure 35 left on the Roma to November departure. Expect initial 7000 and squawk 5615. Easy 21 November.
Easy 21 November, correct. Report ready for taxi.
Full report, easy 21 November.
Easy 835, ready to copy?
Ready to copy, easy 835.
So once he's just given that clearance out, we'll contact them for our pushback.
Started to Corsica has filed approved information hotel ground. Roman to November departure, runway 35 left, inside type level 70, squawk 5617.
Clear to Corsica is filed via the Roman to Sierra departure, runway 35 left, initial climb 7,000 feet, squawk 5617. Easy 835.
Easy 835, correct. Report ready for push and start.
Alpine 869 Papa is ready for push and start.
Alpine 869 Papa, push and start approved, facing at correction, facing south.
Push and start approved, facing south for Alpine 869 Papa. I'm glad he corrected himself.
21 November, stand November 43 is also ready for push and start.
Easy 21.
Okay, check the nose wheel steering's disconnected.
Yes, request push and start.
Acupressure's good. Transponder
Roger, easy 21 November, push
on.
and start approved, facing east.
Lock those doors,
Facing 21 November.
and we shall start our push.
11017, ready for push and start also.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck this morning, let me welcome you on board this Easyjet aircraft. As you settle in, we hope it's going to be the most
Delta
enjoyable
Golf.
flight. The
Fully
weather
wet.
today doesn't look posing much of a problem, so we should have a nice smooth ride.
Speedbird 180, taxi holding point runway.
Engine mode selected to ignition and starting engine 1.
Tango, Alpha 9.
And make yourselves nice and comfortable.
Taxi to
Ground crew have now finished loading the
left,
aircraft.
taxi
We're just
Delta,
waiting for
Tango Delta, Tango and Alpha, hold Alpha 9.
If you could please get the cabin crew your full attention as they
Canada 88, désolé, on a eu un petit cycle de connexion, donc on est prêt au repoussage et à la mise en route.
Air Canada 788, repoussage mise en route approuvé face à l'ouest.
Repoussage et mise en route approuvé face à l'ouest, Air Canada 788.
Ground Delta Foxtrot Uniform 001 is ready for taxi.
Delta Fox Uniform 00, taxi holding point runway 35 left via Tango Charlie, Tango Alpha 8 if you are able.
FM, Taxi by Tango Charlie Tango Alpha 8.
Safety procedures on this aircraft. A safety card is in your seat pocket, showing the exit routes, oxygen masks, life jackets, and brace position that you must adopt if you hear brace. There are two emergency exits at the rear, four in the middle, and two at the front of the cabin.
Speedbird 364 is unlocked.
Guide you to an
Merci
exit.
pour le service. Au
Be
revoir.
aware that the
Bye-bye.
nearest exit may be behind you. In an emergency, leave all cabin baggage
Canada
on
688, je voudrais juste voir quelque chose avec vous, vous confirmer repoussage face à l'ouest, parce que face à l'ouest ça mène vers les bâtiments, c'est plutôt face à l'est, non?
when the seatbelt signs are on, and we recommend that you keep it fastened until
Air Canada 788 négatif, je préfère face à l'ouest pour le roulage des 2-3-20 sur Romeo Echo.
towards you to start the oxygen.
Ok, c'est reçu, donc face à l'ouest, Canada 788.
Hold in place with the strap,
Merci Air Canada.
pull on each side to adjust.
Lyon ground EC21 November, ready to taxi.
Before helping others. If
Easy
you land
2
on the
November,
ground,
you are able
take
for
the life
Alpha
jacket
8?
from under your seat. Put it over your head. As the
Yes,
tapes
we are
around
able for
your
Alpha
waist,
8 EC2 on November.
click together,
Easy 2 November, thank you.
pull the strap to adjust.
Holding control at
Do
35
not
left by
inflate it
Tango
inside the
Alpha
aircraft.
8.
When outside, inflate by pulling
Taxi
the top.
35 left via Tango
If it
and
fails to
Alpha
inflate or
8
needs
for
topping up,
EC2 on November.
blow into the tube. There is a light and whistle for attracting attention. We also carry flotation aids for children. Your tray table must now be stowed, armrest down, window blinds open.
Okay,
and
so our
seatbelts
pushback
fastened.
is complete.
We wish you
and,
a pleasant trip with Easyjet.
Yeah, HD. There's your first ruler moment of the night. I basically did those ad hoc, but I did not specifically go through windows, doors, closed and armed. We had the rotating beacon lights on, and parking brake was on until pushing back, of course. But engine 2 is now stabilised, and we've ended our pushback, which means has the tug started to head back? Is the tug still there? We ended the pushback. How do we get rid of that? Oh, there we go. End pushback. There we go. Engine mode select to norm, APU bleed, anti-ice not required, APU.
Goodbye, sir. British correction, speedbird 1880, contact Saint-Exupéry Tower 120.450. Good flight.
Contact the tower 120.45, speedbird 1880, take 36
That's your muscles memory kicking in HD. Okay, after start checklist, anti-ice is off, ecam status check, pitch trim is 32.1 and rudder trim set 0. So let's get our taxi clearance. HD, now you're just showing off. Let's also let him know we're available via Alpha 8 for departure. Lyon ground Alpine 869 Papa is ready for taxi, and we can take the Alpha 8 for departure.
Alpine 869 Papa, due to traffic regulation, you need to departure to Alpha 9er, so please taxi. Holding control runway 35 left via Tango Juliet, Alpha 9er.
Taxi via Tango Juliet for Alpha 9er, hold there for runway 35 left, Alpine 869 Papa.
Thank you, Alpine.
ground Air France 3 Delta Golf.
I'm going to guess the performance calculation will still be fine HD. We've got more room to play with now, so no worries there.
Correction 320, taxi, holding point runway 35 left via Tango Juliet, Alpha 9er.
Taxi runway 35 left via Tango Juliet and Alpha 9er, Air France 3 Delta Golf.
So we're heading down to Tango Juliet. He actually gave us Tango, then Tango Juliet. So I'm just going to confirm. He wants us to go straight to Tango Juliet, doesn't he? Let's confirm that. Lyon ground Alpine 869 Papa. Please confirm you want it on Tango Juliet prior to Tango. Is that correct?
Alpine 869 Papa, correct. Tango Juliet, Tango Alpha 9.
Many thanks. 869 Papa. Lucas, sir, thank you very, very much for your donation there, Lucas. This is, your commitment to hardworking daily homeward entertainment is forever appreciated. Thank you. And can I kick the bot for you, Lucas? Remind me we're at cruise level. I will. I'm sure I'll actually have time to do that this evening for you, if the bot is not behaving. Right, so Tango Juliet is behind this this sort of shed building here. So let's do that. So just following the taxi line around now.
Easy 21 November, contact Saint-Exupéry Tower 120.450, good flight.
Going to 120450, Easy 21 November, thank you, have a very nice night.
Thank you, you too.
And then given the amount of traffic that we've got, we're in no rush just here, so we will just stop prior to entering the taxiway Tango and we'll just run a couple of checks.
Air Canada 788, prêt au roulage.
Okay, so flight control check, full left, full right, neutral, full up, full down, neutral, rudder, full right, rudder, full left, and neutral. Continue that roll and we'll just do our heads check. So, QNH still 1017. Our engine out procedure is a right hand turn after passing 2,300 feet.
Au point piste 35 gauche par Romeo 3 Tango Juliet Tango Alpha 9 Air Canada 788.
Departure matches what we have in the FMGC and stop altitude is 7,000 feet. HD, we need some custom scenery because that looks appalling. I'm not parking there. Taxiway Tango for Alpha 9. Oh, that's neat. The signs are correct. I have found that since the world updates, these become a lot of the ground signage becomes much better.
Contact Saint-Exupéry Tower 120.450, good flight.
Over to the tower 120450. Many thanks for the service this evening, Alpine 869 Papa. Good night.
Oui, excellent.
Wind 360 against 5 knots, runway 35 left, clear to take off, caution right to upland.
Clear to take off, caution, for Easy 2 on November.
And there's that Easyjet just getting his clearance. Tower Alpine 869 Papa, holding short at Alpha 9 for runway 35 left.
Hotel Alpine 869 Papa, line up runway 35 left in white.
Line up and wait behind departing aircraft. Line up and wait behind Alpine 869 Papa. Let's get the strobes on. Runway turn off lights and nose lights. Transponder, TCAS and PAX.
Alpine 869 Papa, line up and wait, runway 35 left.
Lining up now, runway 35 left, Alpine 869 Papa.
Tower, good evening, Air France 3 Delta Golf with you, Alpha 9 in turn for 35 left.
So we just need to remember to
3 Delta Golf, hold
set
position.
the auto brakes
Hold position,
again.
3 Delta Golf.
So, flight controls have been checked, departure briefings have been confirmed, flap setting is config 1, FMA takeoff data 152 blue, 153 magenta, climb nav blue, 7000 blue, 1 FD2 and 68 degrees flex. Transponder set, ECAM memo, takeoff, and now
EG21 November on frequency.
no blue.
EG21 November on frequency.
EFB is stowed.
You contact Marseille 124.650. Have a good flight, brother.
124650 EG21 November, thank you, have a very nice evening.
Cabin is secured for takeoff. Engine mode select norm. TCAS TA-RA. Packs off. Anti-ice off.
Alpine 869 Papa, wind 360 degrees, 5 knots, runway 35 left, clear for takeoff, caution wake, chub 1.
Cleared for takeoff, 35 left, Alpine 869 Papa. Okay.
Air France 3 Delta Golf, behind the departing A320 Easyjet, line up runway 35 left and wait behind.
Takeoff.
Behind the departing
Start the chrono.
Easyjet, A320 on 35 left, line up and wait behind, Air France 3 Delta Golf.
And set 50% M1. And set takeoff thrust. Man flex. SRS.
Check.
V1 and rotate.
Right, 0.
And set climb thrust. Thrust climb. Climb. Packs 1 and packs 2.
Alpine 869 Papa, contact Marseille 124.650. Have a good flight, bye-bye.
Confirm that frequency again, please, for 869 Papa.
124.650, bye-bye.
12465. Thank you. Good night, 869 Papa.
Lyon, bonsoir, Air Canada 788 au point d'attente Alpha 9, prêt au décollage.
Bonsoir, Canada 788.
So we need to maintain that heading until 4.2 miles away. And this is just where the information on FDs don't seem to be quite correct. So I can't turn autopilot on just yet.
Air France 3 Delta Golf, wind 360.
And we'll make that right hand turn in a moment. Departure Alpine 869 Papa with you out of altitude 5,000 feet on the Roman 2 November departure.
Alpine 869 Papa, bonsoir, climb pass level 350.
350 for Alpine 869 Papa. So autopilot 1's engaged.
The 854, you're cleared to the Varek 1 Sierra.
Satellite flight level 350 blue.
Arrival, Easyjet confirmed.
And we're now headed direct to Whiskey Sierra. NDB, which is correct.
Direct Rubas et arrivé Rubas Unité Sierra Air France confirmed.
Release that cabin crew.
KLM 18 Whiskey, contact This approach 134475, bye bye.
134475, Ladies and gentlemen, please keep your seatbelt fastened while the seatbelt sign is on. We recommend that you keep your seatbelt fastened whenever you are seated. Toilets are located at each end of the cabin. Remember that smoking is not permitted at any time. This includes e-cigarettes.
So we've passed 10,000 feet.
Call you back very shortly.
And check flight level 350, Optimus 39, which is also the maximum, so that's okay. We'll get the terrain radar off. So one of the things the aircraft doesn't quite do correctly, and FlyByWire team are working on this at the moment, is as you can see the aircraft is now flying to intercept this track line to take us to the Whiskey Sierra NDB. What would normally happen is the aircraft would go direct from here. As you can just see now we're banking left. We wouldn't have made such a sharp turn to come back in and around. It would normally have just taken us as per the chart, as you can see. So what we've done is we've taken off and then almost come back over the airfield slightly, not quite as abruptly as that, but to then fly out almost on this route here rather than just going direct from there. But FlyByWire are looking at that with a new flight management system. And we can see TCAS working really nicely. We could do that actually, HD. That would probably have made more sense, wouldn't it? If we do that now, it'll just turn us direct. There we go. Seatbelt signs coming off.
Separation, turn right, heading 230.
Right, turn 230 at all times in case of unexpected turbulence. The toilets are now available.
One and two, you were clear to climb flight level 350, so
and we can just see the Alps in the distance, the start of them in France anyway.
302 extrait, descendez altitude 5000 pieds, le QNH 1017. Sur 5000 pieds, 17 transarrêté extrait.
It really is great to see TCAS working, and the weather radar as well, of course, working as well.
130 and a heading of 225 to avoid weather.
Could you say again to November?
Yes,
yeah, we left that direct a little bit late. I should have done that much earlier. You are quite right.
225 degrees for weather.
I'm too reliant on the automation.
Is approved, and 225 due to weather, no problem. Call back when you're ready to go back on track to November.
So I'll start coming back into the chat. I am aware that I don't really read much of the chat while setting off, and particularly during takeoff, as it's a busy time. But flight time is just under an hour, so we'll have some time to chat, and then we need to brief the approach as well. So thank you to Bart, Names Planes, and Danny Clavson, who recently subscribed.
Please confirm spoke 5620. Apologies, yes, 5620, put it in now, sorry about that.
Would it still have been dusk by the time we got there, HD? That's the question. would we have got in?
Taxi to the point runway 36. Poste 31 Charlie Lima, direct Frijorg.
Direct Frijorg, 31 Charlie Lima.
Marshall Centre, Speedbird 13 Mike Romeo. Sorry I lost comms for a little while. Flight level 5000.
Foxtrot 13 Mike Romeo, climb flight level 380.
Flight level 380, speedbird 13 Mike Romeo, thank you.
In just a few moments, we'll commence our in-flight service, offering you the chance to purchase from our selection of fresh food available today. Full details can be found in your in-flight brochure. We accept payment in pounds, euros, most major currencies, and debit or credit cards. The correct change would be greatly appreciated, and if we could be of any further assistance, then just ask us as we join you in the cabin shortly.
Left 180, F13.com.
Data Foxtrot Uniform 001, cleared.
So we are still climbing, but I just want to see if there's any ATC information at our arrival airport. Check that
Uniform 001, did you copy?
landing runway.
Lufthansa 192, you're cleared. Zarek 1 Sierra arrival.
Could you repeat it for 192? Didn't copy that, sorry.
Lufthansa 192, cleared. Zarek 1 Sierra arrival.
Cleared, Zarek 1 Sierra arrival for 192.
Easy 854, can you say max number?
Easyjet Mach decimal 77.
Copy that, 854, for sequencing, reduce speed Mach decimal 75.
Mach decimal 75, Easyjet prefer.
Okay, so there you go. That's the interesting thing now. So landing is runway 02, takeoff is runway 20, ILS Zulu. Transition level 6,000 feet. And that is because of the terrain around it. So for those of you unfamiliar with this airport, there is the runway. So as you can see, it's safe to arrive on 02 and depart on runway 20 if the winds allow, of course. So 02 is a much easier arrival. ILS arrival. The danger with this particular approach is if things go wrong and you have to have a missed approach or a balked landing, in which case there are a whole host of things which you have to do. As you can see, the missed approach point is just here, so by 4.7 miles to the runway on the ILS, 4.7 miles AC, the ILS DME. We want to be certain that we can go down and land.
869 Papa, proceed direct to column.
Direct to column for Alpine 869 Papa.
France 3 Delta Golf, proceed direct to Beper.
Okay, direct to
So
Beper.
shortcut just there.
The 854, descent flight level 250 initially.
Initially, flight level 250, Easyjet prefer.
So hoping we get a really nice scenic approach for this runway and this landing. HD, am I allowed to answer that question and say panic? Oh, that's something to discuss, isn't it? So if we had to go around after passing the missed approach point, then we would fly over the airfield, continuing our climb. And a lot of this then actually depends on the wind, which... What is the current wind? Well, the wind, looking at that, is rather negligible. Now, one of the problems that we do have, and HD will back me up on this, is that we don't have any go-around track in the flight plan for things such as a balked landing. So what I do have is basically a bulk landing chart. So if we continued the go around after that missed approach point, then we would fly with a ground track of around 158 knots, which would pull on the speed tape, climbing all the time.
Alpine 869 Papa, stop climb flash level 310 due to traffic. Alpine 869 Papa, mountain control, do you read me?
869 Papa, roger, we're stopping our climb flight level 310.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was controlling the aircraft there rather than getting back to him.
Après 455, descendez initialement niveau unité 60.
Descendant niveau unité 60 heure, Portugal 455.
Charlie 71 Alpha, descendez initialement niveau 150.
Oh, come on.
Au niveau 150, Charlie.
What's happening here? Climb 310.
And Alpine 869 Papa, cleared of conflict, you can continue climb to flight level 350.
Continue climb flight level 350, Alpine 869 Papa. 350, thrust climb 350 blue, that's okay. So on the departure, what was that speed? 158 is right, okay, so we would fly that. We could fly that config 2. Config 2, pull the speed bug at 158. Which is normally coded in to the FMGS, but sadly not in the simulator.
C'est bien pris Kingfisher 2-2, c'est un petit peu tôt pour la descente, je vous rappelle.
So just checking we are continuing that climb to flight level 350. There we go.
854, free speed, call you back for hour.
Free speed, call back for lower, Easyjet
Force 2806, descendez initialement niveau 240, dès que possible à vitesse 269.
We would also avoid the acceleration as well if we had to do a balked landing. We just want to get up and away. In fact, do we have the acceleration in here? Can we pop that in? Oh, there we go. So thrust reduction and acceleration. HT, could we change that? So again, this depends on the weather. What is the weather doing?
869 Papa, you're cleared Varec 1 Sierra arrival.
Cleared direct the Varec 1 Sierra arrival for Alpine 869 Papa.
Charlie 71 Alpha avec Ajaccio 121 050, bonne soirée.
121 050, Charlie 71 Alpha, merci.
I just want to confirm actually, can we go, did he just say we can actually go direct to Varec? Find that out.
Skyway 7447, bonsoir, climb flight level 270.
And confirm, sorry, for Alpine 869 Papa, do you wish us to go direct Varec now?
Easy 854, descent flight level 150.
Descent flight level 150, Easy 854.
France 2806 pour séquencement droite, cap unité 70.
À droite, cap unité 70, Air France 2806.
Air France 911 pour débuter la descente. France 911, c'est bien pris, descendez initialement niveau 180. On descend au 180 Air France 911. Air Portugal 455, descendez niveau 150.
Descendant niveau 150 Air Portugal 455.
I'll just ask that again, I don't think he hears. Mac Alt Star.
Soldat 432, bonsoir, climb flight level 210.
Climb flight level 210, Lufthansa 432.
Confirm Alpine 869 Papa, do you wish us to fly direct to Varec now? Alt cruise.
Negative sir, you're just clear to the Varec 1 Sierra arrival.
Roger, thank you for that. Alpine 869 Papa. I think it was the terminology there that confused me. He said cleared direct the Varrock 1 Sierra arrival. So, right, back on to that, what would happen if we had to do a balked landing, basically, which is going around after the missed approach point. So we'd fly over the airfield, climbing as we go, leave it in flaps 3, a max speed, or not a max speed, sorry, an actual speed of, was it 158 knots? 158 knots. And climbing, no acceleration until 3,000 feet, and we've just popped that in. So I'm hoping we don't have to test that that works.
Easy27 Golf Mike, now leaving my airspace, Unicom 228, bye-bye.
Lucas, I will kick the bot for you. So that should be sorted within the next 20 minutes, half an hour or so. RPBC, I'm afraid I don't use Infinite Flight, so I can't really comment on that. HD, my apologies. Is that a max speed? Maximum speed, rather. Ah, right, okay, fair enough. I wasn't aware that was maximum. It does say ground track with 158 knots. It doesn't say 158 max. So that's where my confusions come in. In which case, fair enough. Go back. So flaps 3, 145 knots. There we go. I thought we had to be at 158 knots exactly because it didn't state max in the information I got.
Airway 7447, proceed direct to Bastia, Bravo Tango Alpha.
Direct to Bastia, Bravo Tango Alpha.
Anyway, let's get some weather, shall we? Postless Games, can I fly the 747? Sadly no, I wouldn't know how, so it wouldn't be a very entertaining stream. No, I definitely wouldn't want to be faster. I just thought I thought the 158 was a specific speed on there, just because it didn't say max. But obviously, if that is a max speed, then flaps 3, and we can fly at oh, what was it again? 145. But we can keep an eye on that.
Je peux quitter le cockpit quelques minutes.
Approuvez Charlie Victor, et si vous voulez accélérer un petit peu, vous pouvez monter vers décimale 55.
Je monte vers décimale 55, Fox Charlie Victor.
Okay, so we'll get the weather into the performance page.
Flight level 360 inbound low plus.
406 Delta Golf, bonsoir, scope 1000.
1056 Delta Golf.
So the QNH is 1017.
Delta Fox Uniform 001, proceed direct to Varek and descend flight level 150 initially.
Temperature of 17 degrees.
Direct to Varek, descend initially to 150.
Wind is 060 at 2. So nice light wind, that's what we want. And the transition altitude 6,000 feet. And what was our decision altitude? 1,355. Elevation is 15. ILS frequency 110.3. And missed approach, this is different from the what we were just talking about, the balked landing. So the missed approach is a left turn max 185, and that's up to 3,000 feet. We must be turning because I can hear the passengers screaming. That's also a max speed of 185 knots, isn't it? In which case, max speed of 185 knots, that would also be flown. Flaps 2.
About 13 Max Romeo, Marseille control.
Speedbird 13 Mike Romeo?
Yes, 13 Mike Romeo, I see you diverting from your route. Please proceed direct to Motem.
Direct to Mopen, thank you. Sorry about that. But, yeah, issues.
Thanks for the check on the wind there. Popped that one in wrong, didn't we? There we go.
Niveau 150, Air France 900.
Air France 911, réduisez vitesse 262.
On réduit à 260 nœuds Air France 900.
S-speed is 187.
Sky Travel 26, now leaving the airspace. Malita Helicom 228, bye-bye.
Helicom 228, thank you for the control, bye-bye, come on, Sky Travel 26.
And Sky Travel 6.
So slow speed is 187 with flaps 1, is that right? Oh, HD, you confused me there. But that's okay, we're good. Right, so let's just have a look at how we're going to do this approach. We want to be at Horo, 3,000 feet. So we'll put that in the prog page. There we go. 138 miles away.
Ryanair 1425, now leaving the airspace. Helicom 228, bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Ryanair 125.
Sarcotech, so O is the clean speed or green dot speed. That's the slowest you fly without any flaps or slats. S speed is the slowest you can fly, flaps 1. And F speed is then the slowest you fly with flaps 3. So we may not get any shortcuts on this one. It may keep us flying the full track just to keep us separated from the other aircraft also flying a similar way.
In just a few moments, we'll commence our in-flight service.
And there's Nice down there.
A selection of hot beverages together with drinks and snacks from the bar. We accept payment in pounds, euros, most major currencies, and debit or credit cards. The correct change would be greatly appreciated. And if we can be of any further assistance, then just ask us as we join you in the cabin shortly.
HD, I get that, with your head spinning and thinking backwards. And that's where my initial problem came. I think for some reason I was looking at the speeds, and for some reason always thought of them as maximums, and of course they're not. Is TCAS below? No. It should be. We need to bring that into the scans now. That actually works, don't we?
Lufthansa 346, Newsbook 5623.
Book 5623, Lufthansa 346.
So ideally, when do we want to start this descent? We want to be 3,000 feet. If we just have a look at this arrival, so we're coming via Varek, then KJ 800, 900, Sursa and Horo. I would imagine the aircraft will bank a little bit short, take some track miles off that. But 3,000 feet at Horo is good, and then from there We can see we've got Horo 5.6 miles to go before we intercept the ILS platforms 3,000 feet as well. And we're anticipated to intercept it at around 7 miles from the Ajaccio. How on earth do we pronounce that? AJO, that's how we're going.
Delta Fox Uniform 001, contact Ajaccio 121.150, bye-bye.
And yeah, so hopefully we should have a nice straight approach in, but we do need to put some of these nav aids now in the RadNav page, so let's go ahead and do that. But I do want to check when we're looking at that descent.
Continue descent to flight level 160.
So, not long now. Jake, we should be on the ground in half an hour. Okay, Lucas, you need to turn it to above.
Fine, 86.
1 second.
Ready descent flight level 180 initially.
We'll start our descent now to flight level 180 for Alpine 869 Papa. Okay, let's just do that. So set flight level 180. Thrust idle, open descent. And set 270 knots. I've got a layer of cloud there as well. What's the temperature? It's okay. It's minus 50. We're good for that. Simon, sir, thank you so much again for your continued support, Simon. Your €10 donation, very, very kind, and it is very, very much appreciated. Hope you're having a good flight with us this Friday night. So, the RadNav page, what do we need to pop in there? We've got the frequency confirmed 110.3. We're going to pop in the AJO VOR. We'll pop that on VOR 2. And we're then going to pop in the 365 NDB into ADF 1, and that is for if we have to do a missed approach. So we've got this VOR in here and this NDB in just there, and when we cross it at 62 degrees, that's when, following that left hand turn, we would come back onto a heading of 424 degrees. Okay, so VOR in on VOR 2 and NDB is on number 1.
Unicorn 128, thank you very much for service.
Air France 3 Delta Golf, please say Mac number.
Yeah, Mac decimal 78. Air France 3 Delta.
So we've got the weather and we've got the landing information. That's all in.
75 on the Mac, no problem, Air France 3 Delta.
Many thanks.
And after landing, I don't think we can take hotels. Max wingspan's 79 feet, yeah, so we can't take hotel, so it's either Bravo. Yeah, Bravo's okay. As is Charlie and Delta, but only by 1 foot. I think the wingspan's 117 with winglets, sharklets, however you wish to call them.
Mafia Control, good evening, American 1435, flight level 140.
American 145, bonsoir, climb flash level 290.
Thank you, Simon. Safe approach indeed. Let's hope so. We've talked quite a bit about what would happen should we need to go around. Let's hope we don't need to do any of that. But once again, very quickly, we've got the NDB in. Oh, wrong chart. We have the NDB in, so 4.7 is the critical distance on the ILS approach. And if we had to do a balked landing, so aborting the landing after 4.7, we fly out flaps 3 of 145 knots, accelerate not until passing 3,000 feet, and we're back out over ground here. And overflying city of Ajaccio is prohibited below 3,000 feet. Presuming that's for noise abatement reasons and potentially safety reasons. Alright, let's check this rate of descent. Are we good?
Fine, 869 Papa, continue descent to flight level 160.
Down to 160 for 869 Papa. Set flight level 160 blue. So, how many miles we got to run? We're more or less bang on with our descent at the moment. Max 75, welcome sir to the First Officers Club. Thank you very, very much for your support of the channel. Hope to see you on many more flights. All alcohol on board is now free for you. And Dark Fury, you're very, very kind, Dark. My go-to technical advisor. And Dark says for the new network fund. Yeah, so hoping to see if we can get a new network card into the machine. I want to try and get rid of the Peppa Pig moments. For those of you familiar with the channel, you'll you'll know what I mean. So I'm just going to wind that speed up a little bit. We were on profile, but we do need to slow down as well, remember. We were literally on profile with not really much room to spare. So 20,000 feet to lose and 60 miles.
Air France 390, bonsoir, direct Colon.
Direct Colon, Air France 390, merci.
Fox Charlie Victor pour débuter la descente.
Ladies and gentlemen, take full advantage of your tax-free allowances today and make some amazing savings with our boutique range. In your in-flight brochure, you'll find details of our award-winning selection of gifts, most with massive discounts, some of which are exclusive to you as an Easyjet customer. Make the most of your opportunity to shop and save from the comfort of your seat. If you'd like to see any products, have any questions, or would like to make great savings, then just ask us as we join you in the cabin shortly.
Bien pris, Kingfisher 22, descendez initialement niveau 170, unité 70.
On descend au niveau 170.
We'll also fire up the...
Alpine 869 Papa, continue descent to flight level 150.
Flight level 150, 869 Papa. Set flight level 150 and 150 blue. Yeah, we'll also set up the replay tool as well, so we'll watch a replay of the landing as we're once we're done.
Alpine 869 Papa, contact Ajaccio 121.050, au revoir.
121.050 for Alpine 869 Papa. Good night. Approach Alpine 869 Papa, passing flight level 180 for 160.
Easy 869 Papa, giving Sir Radar identified, distance at level 60 and turn right direct Kilo Juliet 900.
Descend altitude, descend flight level 060 and direct to 900 Alpine 869 Papa. So set flight level 060 blue confirmed and down to Kilo Juliet 900.
Delta Foxtrot Uniform 001, descend 4,000 feet, QNH 1017.
So little shortcut there.
QNH 1017, Delta Foxtrot Uniform 001.
So all he's done is taken us direct from Varag to Kilo Juliet 900, which means we've just lost a few track miles to be able to play with. So before I work that out, I'm just going to wind that speed up a little bit to make sure we get down. We should be okay actually, looking at that. And then obviously we want to slow down to at Horo maximum speed of 200 knots, but we'll obviously be we'll be at 250 knots below 10,000 feet.
La porte de France à gauche cap 06, 0 autorisé Zulu piste 02.
À gauche cap 060 et autorisé ILS Zulu piste 02 Air France.
854, contact tower 118.07, Fahrenheit goodbye.
118.07, fine, thanks for the fish, really nice, bye-bye.
Have a crew by tidying up your trade table and handing them any litter as they come around. That would be most appreciated. For safety reasons, we ask now that you...
So about 34 miles to go and 10,000 feet now to lose.
Please note that the aircraft toilets are now out of use.
I'm trying HD. I keep slapping my hand as they move towards the speed brake lever.
We will be happy to assist you. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed your flight.
Turn left heading 080, Delta Foxtrot Uniform 001.
Some of you may also be interested to know that this is another one of those captains only approaches. I didn't know about that when I selected this route for tonight. And the reason is not because of the difficulty getting in, it's the difficulty if things go wrong.
Reduce to 220, Delta Foxtrot Uniform 001.
Attention 06 avec la tour 11807, encore encore.
Avec la tour 118.07.5, prendre 06, merci.
HD, sorry, I think I'm working on a slightly different calculation. I'm working on 3,000 feet by Horo.
À gauche cap 050 et autorisé ILS Air France.
So the approach checklist. Minimum set. Oh, minimums aren't set. Why aren't minimums set? We've even briefed them. 1355.
1001.
There we go. Engine mode select norm. We've briefed the approach and the go around. 180 for 869 Papa.
Ajaccio approche, bonsoir monsieur.
So he's now just extending that for us, so we'll wind that speed back.
Kingfisher 22, bonsoir, identifié radar, descendez niveau 80.
On descend au niveau 80, Kingfisher 22.
Delta Foxtrot Uniform 001, turn left heading 060, cleared ILS Zulu runway 02.
Turn left heading 060, cleared for the ILS runway 2 Zulu. Delta Foxtrot Uniform 001.
I was interrupted, wasn't I? Approach checklist. Minimums now set, both sides. Engine mode select norm. Electronic flight bag is stowed, and we've briefed the approach. Missed approach. And bulk landing.
Foxtrot Uniform 001, reduce speed to 0, friction 220 knots.
Reduce to 220, Delta Foxtrot Uniform 001.
Now it did give us a flight level of 060, so we're still on standard pressure.
Air France 911 établi LS Zulu piste 02.
911 avec la tour 118 075 au revoir.
C'est bien reçu, on passe sur la tour. Merci pour le contrôle, à bientôt Air France 911.
Kingfisher 22 à droite cap 180.
Vous pourrez répéter le cap s'il vous plaît, Kingfisher 22.
Kingfisher 22 à droite cap 180.
À droite au cap 180, Kingfisher 22.
Air France 3 Delta Golf radar identified, descent at level 60.
Descend 5060 Air France 3.com.
So profile still looks very good at the moment. And he's actually turning us away from Horo, the initial approach fix, to add some track miles.
Turn left heading 050.
Left heading 050 to 1880.
KC, the missed approach or go around track is normally automatically put into the flight plan when you've selected the approach you're doing. So the ILS 02 Zulu approach for us today. And that's speed alt star, flight level 060. And we can see TCAS working as one of our guys on the approach. I don't think we're going to see him in the daylight.
Speaker 1880, reduce 220 knots and clear the ILS Zulu approach runway 02.
But the air traffic controllers tonight were expecting an easy night on this little island, weren't they?
I confirm 220 knots.
Whoops. They're earning their virtual money this evening.
Easy 869 of Papa, descent 4,000 feet, connection 017 and reduce speed to 20 knots.
Descend altitude 4,000 feet, QNH 1017 and reduce speed to 220 knots for Alpine 869 Papa.
Fisher 22, poursuit la descente 4000 pieds, crénage 1017.
On descend là pour... on poursuit la descente au niveau à 4000 pieds, QNH 10.
And so we've got speed, vertical speed 1,000 feet.
869 Papa, turn left heading 080.
Left heading 080, Alpine 869 Papa. And left heading 080. And I just want to check. Are we in the approach phase? No, I'm going to activate that manually now. Turning back towards the airport, we have actually just temporarily come a bit too far away. We've just lost the ILS information, but that's okay.
Kingfisher 22, à gauche cap 080.
À gauche au cap 080, Kingfisher 22.
Cabin crew, please prepare the cabin
Sarcotech, Working Title are working with FlyByWire. That's why the experimental version of the mod hasn't been updated for a while. It's because they're integrating their systems into their experimental version. So it will be coming.
Contact Tower 118.075, bye.
Contact Tower 118.075, thank you for the service, goodbye.
I'm just putting that tower frequency on the standby, so that's nice and easy for us to do. And we've now got altitude is captured 4,000 feet. I'm going to expect a left-hand turn any second now.
Your cabin bag is safely stowed with your laptop inside. Your tray table must be stowed, armrest down, and window blind open. You now need to be seated with your seatbelt fastened, ready for landing. Please help us by handing in any rubbish, newspapers, or magazines that you do not want to take with you. The toilets are no longer in service.
Delta Golf, expect hold at Euro as published.
Expect hold at Horo, front 3 Delta Golf.
Oh, we're going to get the same. I best bring that chart up, hadn't I? Is there a published hold at Horo? Oh yes, there is.
Correction, Alpine 869 Papa, turn left heading 040, clear direct Zulu approach, runway 02.
Left heading 040, cleared Alice approach, runway 02, Alpine 869 Papa.
Ajaccio, bonsoir, Fox Golf, le cochon allé Victor.
21 miles out, and we've been given the clearance. So alarm the localizer, lock blue.
3000 pieds et crénage 1017 pour Fox Charlie Victor.
I think we did that HD, I'm just going to double check, yeah, 110.3. That's part of my arrival checks now, just because I know it doesn't always populate. But there it is.
On expédie la descente.
On expédie la descente,
So I'm just going to start that replay running, and we'll watch this later. Okay, so let's start configuring. We can go flaps 1 and speed check. Flaps 1. We'll still maintain the speed though, 220 knots.
À gauche, cap 040.
À gauche au cap 040, King Fisher.
Unless told otherwise, of course. We can see the aircraft on finals in front of us on TCAS.
Après Delta Golf, hold at Euro as published, I'll call you back in a few minutes.
Yep, no problem, we'll take with the hold at Horo and we'll anxiously await your call. Front 3 Delta Golf.
So, glide slope blue, lock blue, cat 3 dual, autopilot 1 and 2. And we're going to select flaps 2 in a second. We've just wound that speed down. Didn't get down quite fast enough. There we go. Oh, that's paperwork. Alpine 869 Papa, confirm, can we reduce speed now 180 knots?
If you establish, your speed is at your discretion.
And we're establishing now Alpine 869 Papa.
Roger, back, Air Force 3, Delta Golf, I4 Golf, reduce to 0 knots.
Feedback 200 from 3 Delta Golf.
And glide slope start. Let's set the missed approach.
Alpine 869 Papa, contact tower 118.075, bye-bye.
Over to the tower 118.075 for Alpine 869 Papa. Good night, thank you for the service.
Good night.
And 11 miles out. Okay, we've got the glide slope, localizer. And visual now with the airfield. So 4.2 miles was the missed approach point. We're 8.5. All's looking good. We've got great visibility, so we should be able to continue. Radio altimeter is alive, however that's a little bit of the terrain down beneath us. Let's start slowing down and configuring now. 7.5 miles to run, so managed speed. Tower Alpine 869 Papa, fully established runway 02 on the ILS with 6 miles to run.
Alpine 869 Papa, good evening, wind calm on rate to 02, clear to land.
Clear to land, runway 02, Alpine 869 Papa. Gear down. And flaps 3, speed check, flaps 3. And flaps full. Fully configured. Cabin secured for landing. Auto thrust, speed, go around altitude 3000, set. ECAM memo landing, no blue. And my apologies, Richard Aberdens, thank you very much, sir, for your support of the channel by joining. I am just concentrating on the landing, but thank you very, very much. It is very much appreciated. So we do have a replay after this, guys, if you want to stick around for that. If you are leaving straight after landing, please do consider hitting the like button on the stream. It really does help. Thank you. Right, time to land. Autopilot 1 and 2 disengaged. I have control. And even though we're visual, still looking down at the flight instruments. That magenta diamond for the glide slope is a little difficult to see.
Good evening, Tower, Skylink 03, requesting clearance for Nice.
50, 40,
Skylink 03, good evening. Your flight plan is approved via Lyon 5 Hotel departure, runway 20.
And spoilers deployed, reverses on.
Squawk 5615.
Squawk 5615, approved.
And reverses off.
Runway in use departure 20 through Lyon.
First exit is Bravo,
Climb 60.
which we are clear to take.
Skylink 03, your readback is correct. A report for push and start.
We'll report for...
Ladies and gentlemen, the cabin crew will shortly be leaving their seats to perform safety-related duties. However, we ask that you remain seated until the fasten seatbelt sign has been switched off. Portable electronic devices for messaging, calls or internet access may
Taxi
now
gate 5
be
via
used.
left on Tango for
Please make
Alpine
sure
869
you take
Papa.
all your personal belongings with you, checking in the seat pocket, underneath the seat and in the overhead lockers. Do take care when opening the lockers in case anything falls out. Smoking is not permitted until you reach a designated smoking area. On behalf of the captain and the crew, it has been our pleasure looking after you today. Our ground crew will help you complete your Easyjet journey. For the latest news, promotions, flight and destination information, check out
So
our
left here
Facebook
on
page,
to
Twitter,
Tango
or
and
Easyjet.
then gate 5. And once again, this is free handcrafted scenery available from flightsim.to. How many parking stands are here and how many people were flying to here? So we're going to watch a replay in a moment. If you are leaving after the landing, please, if you would be so kind as to hit the like button on the stream. It makes a massive difference to the channel. It is free, of course. If you could just give us that like, that would be very, very much appreciated. But I am looking forward to seeing a replay of the landing in a moment. So Rimks, go to flightsim.to. That's where I get all of my liveries from. Oh, too much brake pressure. I'm aiming for the 321 bars. There we go, close enough.
Skylink 03 ready to...
All right.
No
So how did we get? Oh, we did terrible. Okay. We need a marshaller. We need a marshaller. There we go. Wonderful. Okay guys, let's have a look at that replay then. So a big thank you to those of you that have flown alongside us tonight, and we can see you obviously all lined up very nice and neat just there, neater than my parking by the looks of that. And let's, I'm not going to put the parking brakes on actually. Before we go any further, we're going to disable the terrain systems and warning systems. Thank you very much to those that flew on VATSIM. Let's disconnect from there so they disappear. And I'm now going to stop that replay and we'll load that in a moment. So that's now stopped. Not entirely sure what's just happened there. I haven't loaded it yet. Okay. Unless it's going to load it and play it back for me automatically, that'd be interesting. So this has only started happening with Flight Control Replay since the SIM update the other day. So not really sure what's happening there. I don't even know whether this aircraft's going to spawn back in now. Is it going to take me all the way back to Lyon? We'll have to find out. Good night, HD. Hope you're feeling better soon, mate. Thanks for the help this evening. Oh, it has. It's taken me all the way back to Lyon. That's okay. Whoa! Don't roll forward. There's a building there. Right, so now what I'm going to do is, if we press load, it should load the flight situation. Here we go. That's better. So it's now going to load the flight situation for us coming into our arrival airport. And this looked like a gorgeous approach, didn't it? Really, really nice. So looking forward to seeing this. Just give it another 10 seconds or so. There we go. Right, so we hit ready to fly and hit play. That's the one. And we should just be able to drag that forward a little bit. And we'll watch the last few hundred feet of landing. Might just have to wait another couple of seconds for the scenery to load in. As you can see, it's all blurry and it's now downloading and populating. I think the left hand side, you've just got water vapour. Right hand side's far more interesting. Those of you who sat on the right hand side of the aircraft, you've got quite a nice view, haven't you? And again, the airport that we landed into does have freeware scenery. So available from flightsim.to. You can tell the weather was nice, no wind. Just have a look at the water down below. There's no waves or anything. For those unfamiliar that may be watching Flight Simulator for the first time, things like that do make a difference. So if the weather was rather windy, you'd get waves and white capping of the water. HD, quick question. What went wrong after I disconnected the autopilot? I'm going to have to watch back now. I'll get back to you. Seriously, I'm going to have to think about that one. Actually, I think I do know. And it was something I was going to mention to you about. So this.
Terrain.
Oh, hang on. That's going to keep buzzing off.
Too low. Terrain.
There we go. So you can see all the terrain around the airfield, which is what makes this a captain's only landing. As you can see, the approach itself isn't too dissimilar from any others. But if you had to go around here, or you had a balked landing, then you've got problems if they're not briefed correctly. So really, really nice scenery just there. And if we just pause that, we'll rewind that a little bit. I'm not going to go all the way back because there's very little to see on the left-hand view. But let's go from here, shall we? And we'll just watch the airport whiz by as we touch down. HD, that's fair comment. I was talking about this ILS approach to runway 02. Doing the approach the other way is nowhere near as easy, and I was very grateful when I saw the ATIS was using runway 02 to land this evening. And there we go. There's the custom handcrafted airport. Looking very nice. Beautiful. Okay then, guys. So we can call that a night. A big thank you to everybody who has watched the stream this evening. Please, if you can, hit that like button on your way out. It does make a very big difference to the channel. A big thank you to the very kind members of the chat that have donated and contributed to the stream this evening. And Stephen Murray, thank you very much, Stephen, for joining the channel. Welcome to the First Officers Club, my friend. Hope you've had a great flight with us today, and I hope to see you on many more flights to come. Those that may be new to the channel, if you're not subscribers, please do consider hitting that subscribe button and turning on the notification bell so you don't miss any new content or when the live streams start. As always, a massive thank you to the Easyjetsimpilot channel members and for your continued support. Really do appreciate all you guys do. I'm going to leave you with one final replay of the landing here tonight, and I look forward to seeing you on the next stream. The next stream shall be on Sunday, so please do watch out for that. I look forward to seeing you all then. Hope you have a great weekend. Good night, everybody.
Retard. 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 Retard.